We've said so much about saving money, and now you started saving money, and somehow you find yourself still broke at the end of the month or not having enough to take care of your bills and your needs. So, today I am here to tell you that you need to stop making these mistakes when you are saving money. You need to stop saving like this. You're saving, but you're not using the right strategy or the right saving techniques to save your money so that your money can work for you and you can stop slaving and stressing. So if you are on this table or if you're facing this situation, then this video is for you. Now, saving money is so important. In fact, if you want to build wealth, you want to have investments, you want to get assets, you need to cultivate the habit, the right financial habit of learning how to save money. But saving money the wrong way can actually make it can actually make you poor if you're not saving strategically, intentionally, and using the right methods. I hear so many people say, I'm saving money, but when I do a deep research and find out how they're saving their money, you still find out they're still poor, they're not able to do what they need to do. And then that's why they lose the confidence, they lose the zeal, they just stop the habit immediately. So let's take a look, yes, at a few points that are going to buttress the fact that you probably are not saving the right way, which is the reason why you are saving, but still finding out that instead of getting wealthier or richer or having more financial direction, you are getting more broke or having less money to do the things that are important and that you need to do. Now, it's a whole um you know, very deep topic on this particular issue on you saving and then finding out that you can't achieve the basic needs you need to. It's going to take several videos, but I'm just going to be sharing a few points in this one. I don't want the video to be too long. So the few points I'm going to share, please make sure you sit tight, listen to them, take your notes. And it's not just to take notes and listen, but it's to actually start doing them intentionally. You have to start practicing them, you have to start cultivating them as habits in your day-to-day living and to improve your financial life. So the first point here is you need to know is saving is not investing. They're two entirely different things. You can save and yet you're not investing. You need to save first though before you can start investing because your investment comes from your savings. So the point here is savings protects your money, but investment is actually what grows the money. So savings is just basically removing some amount, a specific amount, or any kind of amount from your income or whatever monies you have stashed anyway, and putting them somewhere expecting for the money to grow. But if you don't really intentionally invest that money, it's just going to be your savings, its value remains the same. So investment actually increases the value of the original amount, the principal amount of money that you have saved. So let's say you save $10 and for the past 3 months left it lying down somewhere in one bank account that is not even getting you any interest. In 3 months' time, it's still going to be the same $10. I mean, let's look at inflation and every other thing that happens in different parts of the world. Your money hasn't increased in value. But if you invest the $10 within 3 months, you're probably going to have like $15, $20. Well, I'm just saying, it just depends on the type of investment you use. The point here is to not just save, but to save and invest. You need the both of them. Another area I also want you to look at when it comes to saving money and finding out that you are always broke or not having enough to do the things you need to do is to take note of inflation. You have no control over inflation, but you need to be aware that inflation matters on your saving. Inflation makes your savings go down, or basically, there's nothing good about inflation, anyways. So if inflation is higher than the growth of your savings, then there's no way that savings is going to make any sense to you at the end of the day. Because this technically means that your purchasing power will decline. The strength of that currency, of that value of that money that you have saved, will definitely reduce over time. And inflation really goes at a fast rate while your money is growing slowly. So you just keeping it somewhere sitting pretty without investing, bearing in mind that inflation also can happen without your control because you're not a member of the government, you just ordinary just like every other person. And even if you're a multi-millionaire or you earn so much, if you don't mitigate against inflation by investing in the right places, your purchasing power will still decline. So no matter how rich you are, no matter how much you earn, you still need to save in such a way or invest in such a way that inflation will not erode how much the value of that money, what it can do for you. Some countries, the inflation rate may not be that bad. In some countries, the inflation rate is really, really bad. So you need to take note of inflation, find out how it affects your finance, how it affects your currency, and invest accordingly. There's information, free information out there. Of course, you need to vet, you need to research before you start investing. So you just need to know that saving alone is not enough. You need to save and invest, and then you need to take note of the power of inflation because it is always higher than the growth of your savings. So if it's higher than the growth of your savings, then you're going to be in trouble at the end of the day. So another thing I need you to look at, that's another thing that usually impacts savings negatively and makes you not be able to really achieve much, is creating what I call an emergency fund. You must create an emergency fund first. Several videos I've had on this channel, I've spoken about 5 different type of bank accounts you need to safeguard yourself from a whole load of embarrassment, debt, loans, credit card, issues, and whatever you want to call it. Basically, just being in a financial mess. And one of the points I always talk about is having an emergency fund first. You save, you invest, you have an emergency fund. These are very, very pertinent if you're interested in building wealth. But if you just want to survive by being able to take care of your basic bills, and feed, that's fine. It's still okay, whatever works for you. But if you're really interested in building wealth over time, now wealth doesn't grow overnight, it doesn't grow, it's not magic, it doesn't grow in 24 hours, it grows over time. You need to create an emergency fund that specifically takes care of any emergency you or any loved one can have. This is a strategy to build security for yourself before you invest. So you save, you build an emergency fund, and then you invest. These are different monies. The money for emergency fund is not the same as the money for investment. However, you can also build an investment that caters to your emergency fund. Money has to work for you for it to make sense because you're not going to be young forever. You're not going to have that strength to do too many things forever. So your money has to work. You have to make money work for you. And to achieve this, you have to go and get financial knowledge. It's everywhere, but like I said, you need to do your research and you need to find the aspect that is most comfortable for you to start with. So you have to learn about things like index funds, mutual funds, educational trust funds, stock markets, shares, bonds, government bonds, businesses, owning businesses. These are the things you need to be taking note of now. You do not have to be a billionaire or millionaire to start investing in shares. You don't have to be a millionaire to start buying bonds, educational trust funds, or businesses. You don't need to have children. You don't need to be married to start. You just need to start from somewhere. You don't need to have all at once that I've mentioned. You can start from buying shares until you are comfortable with it, maybe in a year or two. Then you move to getting bonds and you just keep going gradually till you are sure of exactly the most profitable one for you. But like I say, diversification of wealth is the best. You don't put all your eggs in one basket. You spread them out and then you find, what works. Don't get lost by high profit margins. Sometimes they can end up becoming spammy or scammy, and just know that if you move too fast in having big financial risk, you can lose everything that you've suffered to make or earn over time. So you first of all need to understand your level of risk tolerance. Are you a high risk taker or a low risk taker? But I always advise, if you're new to investing, start investing slowly. Understand the market, gain the knowledge, be intentional, be strategic, know what it is you are investing in, not just based on what someone is telling you or what your friends are doing, because their own level of risk appetite might be different from yours. So don't just save money, give your money a job to do. That is just the conclusion of what I'm talking about. All right. So if you have any questions for me or any areas that you're finding it difficult in terms of savings, the type of investments to start with, what your budget is like, what you're looking at, or any areas of difficulty that you're having in maintaining a healthy financial habit, I'd love to hear your comments in the comment section. And please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And I will be seeing you in the next video. Stay safe, start saving, start earning, start investing.